everybody, it's Renee. Today we're going to talk about James chapter 2 verse 11. It says, "For he who says, 'Do not commit adultery,' also said, 'Do not murder.' If you do not commit adultery but do murder, you have become a transgressor of the law." So James continues teaching us the examples of adultery and murder in verse 11 to make it clear that no sin is better or worse than another. And only one of these sins can make you a transgressor. In God's eyes, all wrongdoings carry the same weight. When you think about adultery, it's about breaking that sacred marriage promise, taking something that doesn't belong to you, like having a relationship outside of marriage. Then there's murder, which is all about intentionality, ending someone's life, one of the worst things you can do. By pointing out these two extremes, James shows us that whether you commit adultery or murder, both are acts of rebellion against God's law, even from a human perspective. The term transgressor is important too. It refers to someone who completely breaks the law, someone who crosses the boundaries God has set. This means that breaking even one part of the law makes you guilty of breaking the whole thing. James's audience, coming from a background that really knew strict Jewish rules, would have understood this all too well. They knew the law was supposed to guide them toward doing right, but they also realized how impossible it is to follow it perfectly. James warns that trying to be righteous by strictly following the law will ultimately lead to death, since no one can keep all the laws flawlessly. This is why we need grace and a Savior. Breaking even one small part of the law means you're guilty of all of it, reminding us how pointless it is to rely only on our own efforts for salvation. It's imperative that we stay humble and recognize our own flaws, no matter how we see our moral standing or how we compare our good deeds to others. We all need God's grace. So how does this understanding that all sins are equal in God's eyes affect the way you view your actions? Are there areas in your life where you tend to minimize certain sins? Think about this today. See you later.